Traders, welcome back to another Relentless recap. As you're tuning in, hit that thumbs up button, and if you are a new viewer, consider subscribing to the channel. Guys, not too much to go over for me today. It was a pretty, straightforward day in the sense of what I traded and what I was able to pull out from the market. So as you're tuning in, hit that thumbs up, of course, subscribe to the channel if you are a new viewer, and guys, remember, if you are looking to further your education and of course start your day trading journey, check out Merciless Markets University. That link is down below for my day trading course. All right, let's talk about ALLR and DRMA. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the two stocks that I traded, and you know, today was a day where we had good momentum, but I just couldn't quite find myself in the right side of the trades at times. A lot of chop, a lot of churn, 72,000 shares traded here. Green maybe 180, then red 600 or 500, and then back to green 2, 300, and back to flat. So not quite getting to dial in and properly connect on the trades. Also, maybe a bit of over trading in some areas like this, where we're just going sideways and down, needing to just ease off and avoid certain trades and wait for the better entries, which did come down here on some of these red candles, right? Bottoming wick there, bottoming wick here, bouncing nicely off of a key daily level that we've already drawn out, right? These were some of the areas that really provided great opportunity. Right here, this is a little tricky. We did start off watching this one for the first 1 minute candle to make the new high. It pushes up nicely and then boom, flushes down. So, it was one of those type of days where the momentum was good, but as always, we have to, it's like playing Matrix, that you have to dodge some of these bullets to be able to survive. Or if you do get caught, hopefully not with big size. That way it's more so like, a flesh wound and you can just dust it off and keep going. So DRMA, nice opportunity here from 312 for anybody buying VWAP area down here, all the way to a high of 393. For those of you who have that longer hold time, this is probably an area you did well. The only thing I can really look at here and see that could have potentially gotten some of us out of the trade with that longer hold time is if we're, stopping out here thinking, man, this thing might be pulling back a little too hard. We did go from a high of 50 to a low of 29, right? About a 20-cent drop off there. But yeah, pretty reasonable. And then from there, we do curl up some more. So again, for me, needing to just ease off on some other areas and dial in towards the lows. One of my better trades came, I believe, and we can put on the show trades here. I believe it was on this candle. No, this one here. As this broke down to 50, I got long, or it might have been let's check the log. It might have been 37 actually. It might have been 37. So let's come on down. 36, 68, 42. Okay, it might not have been 37, 71, 79. Okay, it might not have been there. So maybe I'm guessing it was over here at 45. So sometimes, and then we can put on the show trades, might make it a little easier. Sometimes it's hard to remember, as the day go by, uh, you kind of get a little, yeah, it seems like it was at 45, right? You kind of forget how things really transpired. And yeah, it's a little messy though, right? We'll get rid of it again. 45. 45 is the area we're looking for here. So we're in at 56 initially, and we told ourselves, man, this might be a little too high. So we sell for a loss. We should have just avoided this trade. But then here we are getting in properly. And I did tell myself here, if you guys go back and listen to the live stream, I told myself, hey, RT, if this comes down, try to get into with 5,000 size. We got in, but with 2,500 size. And this is a great entry. We're in at 46, 47, and we're selling at 60, 61, 64, 64. We add back another 1,000 shares, 63, 64, and we're selling at 67, 68, 74, 77 until we are all out. This is probably one of the better trades of the day. but not great that we didn't get it with full size. And also, even on the ad, we could have waited a little bit more before unwinding. So that was at 45 right here. Again, we did curl up nicely, and you know, pretty decent all things considered, right? So DRMA, DRMA. So we're in at 45 and we're out at well, rather 47, and we're out at 47, and then again 49. So we're in there for a few minutes, right? 47. So there's actually this candle right here. So this was a good trade, coming off of that bounce at 43. Moving on. Lastly, ALLR. We were up about 1K at one point, but gave back. And you know, sometimes you just can't help it, man. The area that's gonna get me is this dip. But before we get to that, I do want to say that this stock offered a lot of opportunities in terms of big bids, right? We do have a chapter in the course that go over, you know, big buyers and how they can influence a stock. And I could have done better. I could have done better. There were areas where, you know, when you guys watch back the film, you'll see that I could have been more aggressive. You know, I'm only in 2,500. I could have definitely added to 4K or 6K, maybe 8K, pushing that 10,000 share position. And one of the areas that were very noticeable, um, I believe, was break of, it might have been a little higher up. It might have been break of 3, right? Where this thing really took off, and then, you know, a big bid came in, I believe like 80,000 shares, and despite seeing the order, or actually, I believe it was around 270. So coming up, I believe it was coming up in this area here. Coming up in this area here, we saw it. Yeah, 270. And I didn't get aggressive. I didn't get as aggressive as I could have. So, you know, there's something there, right? And those trades, they do matter because, you know, there's a good support, good tight backstop. If you seize the opportunity and get in with 3, 4, 5 times the size, you know, instead of making $200, you know, there's a $700, $800 trade in one trade, and that essentially doubles the day immediately. So instead of us flirting with being up 1K, you know, at our highs, we're up about 1,800 at our highs just because of that one trade, right? And maybe we finish the day up 15, 1,400, all right? So ALLR, really nice move. The 5-minute pullback here is the pullback that got me because it pulled back so much. You know, we had a high of 230, and before 230, we had a low of 195 right here. 195 was our support before the stock curled up. And, you know, we had high of day at that time at 216. So from 216, we push another 15 cents. We get to a high of 30. And as it pulled back, I bought the breakdown below $2 very aggressively. I tried to get in with 7,000 shares. I think I filled like 4,600, which is still a fair position. And unfortunately, you know, it didn't bounce properly. It didn't curl back up, rather, right? So I'm in, we had a low of 95. It actually double bottoms, and it goes to a high of 208. So at 4,600 shares, I'm up, you know, about 8 cents, which is, you know, about 300. At the time, I did take a loss somewhere, I believe, or maybe not. But anyhow, I'm up 300 unrealized. I sold 1,000 shares just to take something off the table. So you know, I locked up about, you know, maybe like $80 of gain. And I'm like, hey, I'm gonna hold this with a stop at 290, or 190 rather, 190, and I'm gonna watch for this thing to curl back up because I thought this was as low as it was gonna go. But you can see I was terribly mistaken. VWAP, and you know, on, I think on Friday of last week, or earlier this week, you know, another example was a stock, you know, pulling back all the way to VWAP before curling. I can't remember if it was Friday or Monday, but this one came below VWAP. So VWAP at the time is at 183. if you're in at 183, even with a 10-cent stop at this point, because you remember, if you're buying the support, the stock shouldn't really be going that much lower. So if you were saying, hey, I'm going to wait for VWAP at 183 with a 10-cent stop, you're risking 10 cents for high of day, which is at 230. What is that, 50-cent move? 5 to 1 risk to reward ratio. 5 to 1. Where I was getting in a bit of a 3 to 1, but I was, wrong about where the support should have been. And so, again, tomorrow I'm going to pay more attention to this and be more careful. And it's funny because yesterday in this situation, I got in with 500 shares on that particular stock saying, hey, I'm going to scale in over time if it continues to drop. Versus today, I said, hey, I'm going to go all in right away because I think this is the bottom. And so you see that overcompensation, right? And I need to be consistent with one thing, which is to scale in small size, because ultimately it always protects me from this type of loss. And guess what? If this is the bottom, yeah, I'm not in with full size, but I'm in with something, and it's like a much better way to manage risk. So in this situation, if I had scaled in like I should have, I probably would have lost, 500. Well, not 500, $50, 500 shares, and could have been watching to get back in versus striking myself out of the trade. And boy, did this thing curl up. Being distracted with some other stocks, I did miss this 3-bar play. And so disappointing to miss this pullback here. Look at how well it came back and held 95. There was a halt resumption on another stock, switched away, and this thing. This from here is where I was on my heels of this stock. Missing this trade, I felt like the dips were just the better trades on this stock, and I missed this final entry here, and boy, did this thing slap me in the face if I just keep going. No more pullbacks, no 3-bar plays. If you weren't willing to just buy higher, and even then it was a little tricky going up, man. But congratulations for those of you holding from 180 or even 195 right here. Beautiful move, man. And this is so good because it's instant. I probably would have gotten aggressive here too because it curled up so fast on this bottoming wick, but man. Yeah, and it just never looked back. Right here, 244. And then continues to curl. I didn't take this entry. I think I might have thought the stock was failing at the time, or maybe even distracted again, looking at something else. But incredible, man. And that was ALLR, and that was the day. So we're green, but not a crazy day, right? 400, but I felt good about the day though, compared to like Friday. I think for me, the main thing is being able to be here and just being able to trade. Whether I end the day red, small green, like I will not feel any FOMO, right? I think I will not feel any FOMO, right? Because I don't. Like today we had some big days again in our Discord, right? Shout out to our Discord. And the main thing is, can I be able to do what I love to do, right? Can I come in here and trade? And I feel good about walking away with some money here today. But a day like Friday where like something comes in the way and it's like, I know I didn't get to finish the day where I wanted to in terms of just, trading momentum, potentially making back that loss. Because on Friday, ultimately, there's no guarantee that I could have brought that $500 red day back to, 500, 1K or anything. But just the chance to trade, the ability to trade without interruption, So yeah, guys, stay safe, stay green. That'll do it for a recap. Hit that thumbs up. Once again, check out those links down below. Momo Pro, right? Momo Pro. And of course, the chat room and or the course link, depending on what you guys are looking for. Hit that thumbs up. It's been RT. $400 a day will help to keep the 9 to 5 away. All right. Stay safe, stay green.